Okay, we are live. Welcome back to Heroes Next Door. This is another installation of Heroes Next Door going live. Welcome, people.
Rhino Records presents Mehmet Oz's greatest hits.
Let's stop that.
Right to life, but the heart's not beating. Red.
All right. Hello, Jonathan, Anthony, welcome. How you guys doing today? So we are just getting started. It's another live. So we are, there we are. There's everybody. H&M, flashing lights. Trevor, thank you. How's everybody doing tonight? Nathan, Justin. All right. Just to remind you, my name is Mike Borello. I am the host of Heroes Next Door. And yeah, I am trying to do two things at once right now just to see if this thing goes up and running. I'm watching myself on YouTube. So I wonder if that slows my frame rate down a little bit. All right, everybody. Ryan, will you visit Delco and post it? Yeah, of course we will. All right, let me go to these chats here. Let me see what's going on. Everybody's logging in. I appreciate everybody. Tonight is going to be a little discussion. Basically, what happened is over the week, I was trying to figure out another topic. Oh, first of all, let me back up. I want to say thank you very much for everything that you guys have been doing and supporting us. And last week got really, really hectic. I was unable to do another live stream. And I really ran out of topics. I know I talked about, what we want to name this and how we want to proceed and continue these kind of discussions. So I really wanted to make sure I'm giving you guys good content. And, so I took a week off. I got real busy at work anyways, and I came up with an idea. So when I was going through Facebook the other day, I looked at some of my saved videos and I realized I have a ton of saved videos or saved articles from JEMS, EMS1, Firehouse magazine, lots of different things over the years that I've saved that I thought were very interesting and I wanted to kind of review. So that's kind of what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to start out though by saying hello to everybody. Everybody, it looks like North Carolina, South Carolina are all chiming in. We're already up to 31 people. So I'm going to try to hit as many as I can real quick. Kyle, Chris, H&M, appreciate that. Everybody's logging in. All right. So today was a busy day. We actually did a filming on a Friday, which normally we don't. We film every other Saturday, but we went down to Delaware County and looked at their tech school. So you guys are going to be seeing that and kind of the behind the scenes on how the tech school works. So we got a little bit of smoke simulator going on. We're looking at their fire trucks, their dispatching center, the whole 9 yards. So that's pretty cool. So that's going to be editing over the next 2 weeks, and we should be posting it. Tomorrow's video will be coming out at 7:05 in the morning. So pay attention to that. I recently set up a GoFundMe page to help with what you're going to see tomorrow. So that's pretty cool to see. But as I digress, I wanted to go over some of the articles that I've been reading over my years in regards to EMS and what's going on. But that took me to, and actually talking to the kids at school, took me to a problem that I don't think everybody knows about. Me growing up, I struggled in school. I did not learn to read well. Actually, I didn't learn to read until I graduated high school. And because of that, I was a little, say, far behind in reading skills. And I hated school, absolutely hated it. When I was in fourth grade, I was taken out of reading courses. I was tested for ADHD. I was tested for dyslexia. I was tested for learning disorders. And, they couldn't figure out what my root cause was on why I was having such difficulty reading. So what ended up happening is I got a hold of the Sylvan Learning Center. They helped me through school with the books on tape. I had girlfriends that helped me read books and take the tests. The teachers and my coaches. I was an athlete, so my coaches really helped out and helped me get through school. But I absolutely hated school. So fast forward 15, 20 years into my career, it got time for me to um, further my education. I needed an undergrad and a graduate degree in order to accomplish the goals that I wanted. And those initial goals were for me to um, become an EMS chief. Now, what we found is I had a higher than average IQ, but I couldn't read very well. I made do, I figured it out, but I was reading like at a third or a fourth grade level. So, I figured, what am I going to do? So one day I'm in front of my computer and I'm praying to figure out how am I going to go back to school with having such learning difficulty or reading difficulty. And what I came across, I want to share with you guys. It is something that changed my life tremendously. I figured out with the help of this website that I had a condition called Irlen syndrome. Has anybody ever heard of Irlen syndrome? So, Irlen syndrome, I'm going to pull it up here, is a condition that when I read, and you're going to see me putting these on, I use glasses. Obviously, I'm older and I need glasses now, anyways, but I use glasses with a blue filter on it. And that blue filter helps take care of my reading disability. And I didn't know what it was. So I'm going to give you just a little bit of sample of what my reading disability was all about. And this is just kind of give you guys an understanding that, us in EMS and fire, we normally learn by tactile, auditory. Some of us read well, but not all of us. Many of us have ADHD problems. Many of us had reading disorders or learning disorders. But that doesn't mean we can't be good professionals. So let me take you to that. And this, I'm going to show you a little bit of what Irlen syndrome is about. So this is an Irlen syndrome. It's an 8-minute video. However, I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I'm going to show you a snippet of it and let you.
Bob walked towards the sound of the barking until he found the dog Spotty.
It takes me a moment to register that they're refusing is to me.
It's not uncommon for a child to have problems learning to read, but when the problems persist, there may be something more significant going on. In some cases, the brain may not be processing information correctly. As a result, written material may look like an optical illusion.
How does this look to you?
It looks like there's two of everything.
So this is exactly what happened to me. When I looked at things, the words were very blurry. They moved around, letters shifted. So learning phonics, learning red words, learning all the techniques that normal people had was very, very difficult for me. So I had to concentrate so much on keeping those words in line that I many times lost the meaning or the concept of what I was trying to read. So with these blue filter glasses, that all went away for me. So I just want to encourage you guys that if you are having a problem with any kind of learning disability, ADHD, or you may have this Irlen syndrome, I recommend going to it. It's spelled IRLEN. Check it out. Maybe it will help you. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. It's something that I struggled with. And after I got these glasses, I graduated high school with a 1.75, just enough so I could play football. But in my undergrad, I ended up with a 4.0. In my graduate degree, I ended up with a 3.95 grade point average. So it definitely worked. And it was pretty cool to realize that it wasn't just me. It was something that was undiagnosed. So let's talk about EMS for a little bit. All right. So let me go back to some of these questions. When's the next station cribs? That's coming out soon. We post every Saturday at 7:05 in the morning. So if you are looking at our posts, that's where we're gonna do those. We try not to do a station cribs every week. We try to break it up with some react videos. We try to do a station rigs. We try to do some stories. We want to keep the channel pretty interesting, but we are in the process of filming a lot of the station cribs too. So let me go back here. Cool. All right. So got some people from Philly, got some people from Colorado. Appreciate all you guys. What made you become a fire chief, become an EMS chief, and what is your favorite station? I am not an EMS chief. That's what I wanted to become, but Heroes Next Door kind of took me in a different ballgame, and I'm actually just a regular paramedic. So, paramedic firefighter. I appreciate your videos. Thank you. I appreciate you for watching. Coming from Alabama. Thank you. Yeah, send us an invite from Alabama. I'd love to go see you guys. Ohio, too. I appreciate you. Give you a little bit of shout out here. So, all right. So I'm going to move on a little bit here. We're going to get rid of the share video. Stop sharing that. And I want to talk about EMS in general. Let me start out with EMS. How many of you guys out there are EMS? Meaning you're a EMT, you're a first responder, a paramedic, and so forth. I want to know how many of you are that or versus just a firefighter. So I'm going to wait a little bit, see if I can get some feedback on you guys here. Connor, it says me. Are you all looking to become an EMT or a firefighter? Or, yeah, very good. My father's a firefighter paramedic. Thank you. Okay. Are you looking at doing it? Firefighter. Okay. H&M Mitch Companies keeps doing the likes. I'm not quite sure what that's about. EMT firefighter. Okay. Retained firefighter. In Northern Ireland. Yeah, that's a different kind of system. So is that like a volunteer or is that like paid for a call? Ignores questions. I got a question. Okay. What's your question? I would love to be a firefighter. Okay. I want to take EMT after Fire 1. Okay. Volunteer firefighter for 23 years. I appreciate your service. So you guys are all understanding what I'm talking about. Firefighter and fire police in Lehigh County. That's pretty close. We appreciate you. Paid on call. Okay. So you basically respond from home, but once you get a call, you get paid for it. That's the way I kind of understand that. My grandpa was a cop. Good. Okay. Okay, so not many actual active EMTs or fire or EMTs or paramedics. Trey, 20 years as a volunteer medic or medic or anything like that. Okay, John, you served for about 7 years as a volunteer. Appreciate you. Volunteers are definitely needed. Firefighters. Okay, so we get a lot of firefighters on. So my topic of EMS may not necessarily be what everybody wants. John, you're a first responder. Okay. So do you guys want to hear about how EMS started and where we're at currently? You just bought a new stuff in. Okay. Volunteer firefighter and EMS. Wood Tyler, I appreciate that. Okay. I'm going police training, Larry. You do both fire and EMS. Okay, you do want to hear about it. Okay. Okay. Just getting some feedback from you here. All right, so I'm going to bring it back all the way to the beginning. Here in the United States, EMS really is one of the younger fields in emergency services. We've had police for many years. We've had firefighters for hundreds of years. Back when Ben Franklin started things, and probably even before him, we've had firefighters. EMS is relatively new. We were only in the late 60s, early 70s as far as when EMS started, and we're the youngest, but we're also the fastest growing. We went from doing just basic, pick people up and take people to the hospital with very basic knowledge of CPR and first aid to where we're at today. Today, we actually have advanced life support, which are paramedics that have the ability to do cardiac resuscitation, give medications, do intubations, do a lot of invasive things. So over the last 40 or 50 years, we've come a long way from what we used to be. And that's one of the reasons why we struggle so much, because we have not decided to organize and become a union on the EMS side like the fire department has, or even the police department has. So those are one of the struggles that we have. And because of that, it brings us back to our pay. So there's an article that was posted on Facebook. I want to say this was back in February of 2019. And he talked about, let me pull this up here. He talked about kind of where we are and what's kind of hurting us. This was posted by a Scott Grant. Let me share this with you so you guys all can see what I'm talking about. All right, Facebook, there it is, share. Okay, there it is. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. And this is a little article that he put together in regards to where we're at and where we're going as far as EMS. And the top sentence is actually pretty impactful. And it says, imagine if you needed an ambulance and all you got was this: a box on wheels full of equipment, full of medications to save your life, but there was no one there to use it. And the reason for that is because we're having troubles filling these shifts. We're having troubles, paramedics, we're having troubles getting EMTs in order to fill the trucks. And why is that? Well, there's a couple of different reasons. As this guy states, there's poor leadership, poor wages, poor benefit, ridiculous expectations of work hours. All these things are contributing to why it's having difficulties, filling these shifts. If we take the national average of salary for EMS providers, about $33,000 according to a BLS. Now, it does bump up just a little bit for that for an ALS service, but even then, it's not too much. But here's the kicker: there are other professions out there that aren't even professions. Like working at McDonald's. You can make it a profession, obviously. I don't want to discredit anybody, but working at McDonald's, working at a local car wash, you're making almost $40,000, but you're not doing the risks that we have here in EMS. You're not, going into a hostile environment, making it unhostile, taking care of the sick and injured, and getting that patient to the hospital. You just don't have that kind of risk. So, it begs the question: why would people go into EMS knowing that? I'm getting distracted by H&M Mitchko. I only in $22,000 a year. Yeah, you're okay. So you're kind of following with me. So yeah, fire departments and EMS are very low pay, and because of that, we needed to work 2, 3, and 4 jobs in order to make ends meet to be a single provider. Now, I've been a single provider for my family for the last 20 years. I've made it work, but I had to have full support of my wife and my children in order to do that. I work, 2 jobs for the most part, and most of the time I work 2 and 3 jobs in order to get that done. I do education on the side. I'm always trying to do something else in order to do that. So now I lost my thought. I'm reading one screen over here and I'm reading one screen over here. So I'm trying to keep up here. So EMS is struggling to fill these shifts because of the poor pay. But what we need to realize is we as EMS providers are the youngest game in the field, and we don't really have good representation at the government level. When you talk to, or even in the public's eye, if you talk to somebody in the public and you ask them, what's the difference between EMT and a paramedic? What do you get when you get an ambulance? Most of them are going to say, I get an ambulance driver and I get a ride to the hospital. Well, you have medical Uber for that, or you can take a taxi for that. You don't necessarily need to use our services for that. What we do here is, we have the ability to do patient care at your bedside, and the public doesn't even know that. Many times I show up there and they have no idea about the skills or the education that we bring to the game, whether that's an EMT, paramedic, or an AEMT in between. Not only that, we have now to struggle with career-ending injuries due to physical limitations. We have to deal with injuries, picking people up and moving people. Many of us get hurt over our career. We get back pains, we twist ankles, we get assaulted. Many of those things happen when we are working in the EMS field, and the lay public has no clue on what it's all about. No taxis in my town. Okay. So that is kind of a little history on that. I am going to switch over here, go back to my Facebook page, and my computer got stuck. Hopefully I haven't gotten stuck. My internet connection looks pretty good, but my computer got stuck. All right. All right. You're at Three Rivers, Lackport Township in Michigan. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to Michigan soon. Hopefully we can get that done. All right. We got about 21 people on now. And yeah, okay. All right. So I lost my train of thought here. Let me go back to my save files. Lucas, did you see the email I sent a while ago? Yes, I did. I haven't had a chance to respond to you. We're going to try to get to as many people as we can. You've been shot at while on an EMS call. Justin, yeah, a lot of us have. I have been, assaulted and someone tried to stab me with a screwdriver. At the post office. Okay. Go to Green Bay in Wisconsin. We're trying to get up to Wisconsin. Going back here. All right, so I'm also going to bring up an article here. This one's out of JEMS. Let me pull this one up. This is an article about safety first or safety third. Now, any of us that have taken EMT class or paramedic class or anything like that, let me go to Facebook. EMT first. Pull this one up. I'm going to share this article. This one's out of, I believe, JEMS. And I don't know if you guys have ever read JEMS magazine or Fire magazine or anything like that. Very good articles, very well written, very well researched. So I recommend you keeping on top of your con eds and using these kind of services. So first line out of this, BSI scene safe. Question becomes, in this article, is that really the most important thing? Or is it, taking care of our patients? We have a responsibility to take care of patients. And they are arguing that we have knowingly undertook the risk of injury by taking on the job. I think that's a bunch of crap. We don't get paid enough to do that. I think we have to play safe, because if I am going to a scene and I get injured and I can't perform to take care of patients, then I'm worthless anyways, and now I need help and I need to call another resource in. So it is an interesting article. He talks about paramedics' job has inherent risk. Yes, it does, like moving around in the back of an ambulance while we're traveling, traveling at a high rate of speed. There are inherent risks, but do we go to the point where safety sounds like it should come first after getting the job done? I don't think so. I think safety always remains first between you and your partner, and making sure things are good. One of the ways you can do that is take on making sure that you know how to de-escalate a scene and things like that. All right. So that was another article that I came across, and I saved that one from way back that I thought was very interesting. All right, I'm going to go back to your comments here. I'm totally getting off track. So, Chris, your question: where are you going in Michigan? We're going to be going to HME fire trucks out of Grand Rapids area. I think they're in Wayne. We are staying in Silver Lake, so hopefully we're going to get some fire stations there and EMS stations up there. But we're also going up to Traverse City, so we're pretty much traveling the entire west coast of Michigan. We're trying to get a couple more stations. So if you know of any in Michigan, have them reach out. We'll be going up there. So, all right, we are dropping off here. All right, we got about 17 people on. I'm just kind of going back. So let me ask you guys this question. Do you guys also watch us on Facebook? Do you watch us on just YouTube? Where are you catching Heroes Next Door? Where did you first see us? I'm trying to figure out where the best place is for us to advertise to make sure that we're getting the most viewers that we possibly can get. So I would like to know that. So you should contact West Branch Fire Department. Where is West Branch Fire Department? On YouTube. All right, I appreciate that. YouTube. Are you getting as suggestions? Did it come up on just your feed, or did you guys search us out? That way I can make sure I'm hitting the analytics properly too, so everybody gets the videos. I found you while looking up fire trucks. Okay, that must have hit you when we do station rigs. Just on YouTube. Okay. All right. We do have a Facebook page, so go to Heroes Next Door. We have a Facebook group that we can do chats on. We have a Facebook page over there that we post a lot of different things in the northern part of Michigan. Okay. YouTube was a suggestion. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate that. Found by mistake, Taylor. I appreciate that. Hopefully you like it, and we've entertained you. Suggestion from South Metro Fire, Fleet Fridays. Okay. Yeah, they do a lot of similar things that we do. The fortunate thing that we have that South Metro doesn't, and they do a fantastic job, is we're not pinned down to our own company. So we get to come see you guys. You guys are the heroes next door. They're highlighting their own. So Fleet Fridays or Station Saturdays for South Metro, they're doing a fantastic job. They're looking for new PIO to continue to help do that. All right. Up or lower Michigan? We're going to lower Michigan part. On Google Maps. Okay. You were looking for South Metro. So we got connected to South Metro. Okay. Okay. So one of the things that we've been working on in our mission statement is we want to give back to the communities that we work on. So ever since we started our company, we decided to give 10% back of the finance that we get in off the top. So if we get any sponsorships, if we get any donations, we get any chat feeds or anything like that, when you guys join, any of the revenue that we get, we take 10% off and we start building a grant fund, is what I call it, and we're going to give back. The first thing that we're doing is we are giving away 26 sets of fire gear to the Philippines. The Philippines reached out to us real early on in regards to needing some PPEs, especially for firefighting or structural firefighting gear, and we had the opportunity to do that. So do you guys know the paramedic coach that is also online? He does a lot of videos in regards to getting you ready for EMT class. He's getting you ready for AEMT, paramedic, and so forth. Great guy. I've had many conversations with him. I actually am part of his group now, so I got the program myself. You know, I'm 28 years into it, so it's something that you guys should look at. It's called the Paramedic Coach. Look it up on YouTube. He's a great, great guy. He was one of our first sponsors that helped us. So he donated $500 to help us ship the first set of gear to the Philippines. It should be receiving that March 1st. So hopefully they're going to film it, get us back to it, and we are going to continue to do that. Once that gets over there, we confirm it gets to the place where we need it to. We can then ship the rest of the gear, but we're raising finance for that. So if you have the opportunity to give back, look at our Facebook page. We do have a GoFundMe page now to help raise that finance. In order to send that kind of gear across countries, it's almost 10 grand. And that's kind of what I put up for there. We've had a donation now of $1,000 to help us with that. But if you are interested in helping and becoming part of this Heroes Next Door drive, we really, really appreciate it. All right, Chris, you found us on YouTube. I think you should do TikToks. We do actually have a TikTok page. If you check that out, we do have TikToks also. A lot of it is fire trucks pulling in and out. Harrison has been working on that. I don't know how developed it is. I'm not a big TikToker. But yeah, we do have a TikTok page. We have an Instagram page. We have a bunch of those things going on. So we're trying to reach as many of you guys that we can to get the word out there for us to come see you. We don't necessarily do cold calls in regards to going to fire stations. So a lot of the suggestions that you guys give, I appreciate it, and I want to get out that way. But we need those fire stations to give us a call or email and say they're interested. And what that does for us is it kind of cuts through the red tape. When we call up a fire station or just cold call them, and I've done it in the past, when we first started, it is very, very difficult for them to understand what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing. And many times the PIOs or the chief or the president of the company doesn't necessarily want us coming over because they have no idea what we're trying to do. It's a strange concept to them that a company wants to come out, wants to videotape your station, wants to videotape your trucks for free to help with promotions and recruitment. Most of the time when you have a company like that, they want to charge you. We're not charging these companies to go out to see them. You know, we're not charging any of them to go see and show them on our YouTube channel. How we end up getting paid and how we get paid back for that, for the travel, is the ad revenue on those videos. So a lot of the suggestions that you guys have been giving me, I really, really appreciate it. And I continue to put them on the list. I have a real big list that I'm working on. But I need those people to contact us as much as possible to kind of cut that red tape. So hopefully everybody understands that and knows kind of what I'm talking about. And okay, so that's that. TikTok is good. I'm kind of reading back through here. H&M, you got a lot of comments. I appreciate you, brother. I just got to filter through some things to make sure I'm not missing anybody else. I've commented on your videos. Good to see how you cross the pond. That's Taylor. Yep. So Taylor, you must be from over in the UK, Germany. I'm not sure where you're coming from. If you could state that, that'd be appreciated. Lewis County EMS in Upper Michigan. We've had that's a broken potatoes comment. We have a couple of people from the Upper Michigan that we would like to get to. That's almost like a whole nother state for us. Northern Ireland. All right. Thanks, Taylor. I appreciate you, brother. Broken Potato asked me, where am I based? I'm actually near Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. We're about 45 minutes outside of Philadelphia. That's where I base, which is why you see a lot of them out here on the East Coast, a lot of our videos, because I can drive to them. I can get to them pretty quickly. I get good invites. Working here for the last 28 years, many of them they know me. I've been around them enough, so I've cut through that red tape and gotten the invites to go do that. All right, Shane, Australia has a very diverse emergency services. Yeah, I hear that too. So I would like to learn more about Australia. You guys do pre-hospital doctors and nurses in the 911 service too. In America, we don't have a whole lot of pre-hospital doctors. The pre-hospital nurses are specifically for usually transport. You do got a couple of them out on a helicopter, but most of the time it's paramedics is the highest level here in the United States. Do you know the scanner guys on YouTube? I have not. Maybe I'll have to check them out. This was a comment from Chris. I would have to know. Let me pull it up. I want to try to pull it up. I don't know if this is going to hurt my Wi-Fi though. Let me call it. I'm going to pull up my YouTube. It's called the Scanner Guys. What do they do, Chris? Oh, okay. I just looked up the Scanner Guys on YouTube. It looks like they have scanners so they can sell different ones. They got handhelds, they got portables, they got mobiles, all kinds of different stuff. All right. How much do you know about Canadian EMS and what are your thoughts? I don't know a whole lot about Canadian EMS. I assume it's just like the American EMS. So are you from Canada? And if so, let us know what you guys do differently that we do here. So here in America, we have 4 levels of EMS services. We have first responders, which is your basic first aid, glorified Boy Scout. We have EMTs, which is our, start driving the ambulances. We have AEMTs or intermediate EMTs, and then we have paramedics. That's usually in the 911 system, what we roll with. But we also have pre-hospital nurses and pre-hospital doctors, but those more get into the emergency care transfers rather than a 911 service. So does Canada kind of operate the same way? Or do you guys have pre-hospital nurses and doctors that run on the 911 system? When are you coming to Missouri? This is Jeff. I would come out there as soon as I possibly can. Are you inviting us? Again, we need to have a specific fire station reach out and invite us. But yeah, it's just a matter of getting those invites, saving up enough finance from ad revenue to make those kind of trips. Again, we're coming from Philadelphia, East Coast, Pennsylvania area, so it takes a bit to travel, especially now that gas prices are going through the roof. But we will make it. Our goal for this channel is to hit all 50 states. That may take 1 year, it may take 2 years, it may take 10 years. I don't know how long it's going to take us to do that, but the ultimate goal of this channel is to hit all 50 states. We want to hit as many fire stations as we can, and EMS and police stations as we can in those 50 states as we travel through. So this channel is not going anywhere anytime soon. So it is something that we are in the process of doing. Jeff, I am not on the department anymore. I was for 22 years. Appreciate that. Love watching the show. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for your service. Yeah, I'm 28 years into it, still going. So maybe one day when YouTube continues to advance, I'll go down to one job and do YouTube mostly. So if you know anybody from there, have them send me an email at watchheroesnextdoor at gmail.com and get us an invite. We'll try to make that happen. All right. Yes, I am. Level titles are same throughout. However, the scope varies. It goes EMR, first responder. Okay. US EMT, PCP, AEMT, and ACP. Okay, so that yeah, the abbreviations were not. I'm not quite sure what you're saying with the abbreviations. So kind of spell that out for us, because I'm sure there's other people in here that are talking about. So it looks like a PCP is equivalent to the AEMT. ACP is similar to the US paramedic. That's the way I understand it. And a critical care is mostly transfers. CC is a critical care transfer. Okay. All right. So I am kind of winding down here. I originally was going to talk about, like I said, the history of EMS, the struggles, the financial, the physical struggles that we've been having. But, you know, talking to you guys and seeing your feedback and what's going on, it looked like a whole lot of people weren't really interested in that. So I like talking to you guys. I like seeing your comments. All right, here it is. Emergency medical responder. Yeah. A primary care paramedic. Okay. That's a different term. Advanced care paramedic. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah. So a primary care. So you call almost everybody a paramedic rather than an EMT, where we do it the opposite way. Not very many pre-hospital nurses or doctors. Right. So the fortunate thing here in Chester County, we have two critical care, or actually pre-hospital doctors, that will come out and help us. They're medical command physicians for many of the EMS agencies. And if they are around and you need some help, they will come out and help us out. Okay. So can you guys do me a favor while everybody's watching? We're down to about 17 people. I want to know what some of the topics you guys want to talk about. Do you want to talk more about fire stuff? Do you want to talk about EMS? What do you guys like to talk about, and what would you guys like to see on our channel? Coming up, we are in the process of trying to get some more police related videos up, a couple more police stations, maybe a ride along. We want to do a day in the life of a ride along for EMS or a fire station, so you guys get a little bit more in depth. Like I said, we just went and did the behind the scenes of a school and things like that. Okay, let's see. What do you find the benefits of a pre-hospital doctor's being? The benefit of a pre-hospital doctor is, one, we don't need to ask for orders. They're right there. The other thing is they can bring with them things that we can't. So, for example, on the ground unit, I cannot use a paralytic and do a rapid sequence intubation. On the flight program, if my flight program has that available, I can. So by bringing a doctor out to a scene for a pre-hospital doctor, they can help us with a little bit more scope of practice. Actually, they can do their whole scope of practice in the pre-hospital setting. So it's that extra set of hands. It's for that critical patient that we may need, which is why there's not many out there, because for the most part, I would say 96% of our calls as a paramedic, we can handle that. That's why we don't even use nurses that much, because there's not much more in the pre-hospital setting that they can do that we can't. And, you know, looking at it from an administrative point of view, an EMT, AEMT, and a paramedic are much cheaper than a nurse or a pre-hospital doctor. Mackinac Island. Oh, I would love to go to Mackinac Island. First of all, I've been to Mackinac, and it's a unique place because there's no motorized vehicle. So I'm wondering how their EMS does. I would love to get a hold of somebody up there. So Chris, if you know somebody at Mackinac, let us know. Have them send us an invite. we're already in Traverse City, so it's not going to be that far. We would definitely go to Mackinac Island and see their EMS, or even fire for that matter. Any of the EMS services up there. That's very unique. Good suggestion there. All right. Everything you do is great. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jeff. Mackinac Island fire truck. Yeah. I think those are the only motorized vehicles out there. Compare the difference between West and East Coast firefighting. That's a good one. The advantages and disadvantages and the styles as a video topic. Okay. That is a very good one. I'm going to make sure I write that one down. East versus West Coast. So it's funny that we have these kind of differences. You know, when we talk about EMS, when I talk about, talk to people in the UK or Germany, Australia, yeah, there's a bunch of differences. But even here in the United States, there's a big difference between how firefighting is done, how the command is done, and the different terminology. Really, that's what it comes down to. Here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, we're not a state. Some of the terminology that I use, like townships or boroughs, many states don't know what that means. They have counties or they have things like that. So I'm going to write that one down. East versus West, or West versus East. Okay. Mackinac Island have fire trucks and EMTs. Have cars. And the vet has cars. Well, yeah, I would assume a vet would need a car up there because they got to get to those horses that are out there and, get around. So, all right. What other topics do you guys like to hear about? One of the things that I came across the other day, I can talk about different equipment that we use, and the why we use what we use. We have Lucas machines. We have different straps for radios. We have different kinds of helmets. These are the kind of things that I could talk about if you guys are interested in it. I don't want to bore you guys to death. I want to make sure that you guys are very interested in the topics that we're talking about. So it's definitely something that I want to hear from. I'm going to scroll back here a little bit. And let's see what my time is. We're 47 minutes into this, guys. I try to keep these for about an hour. Like I said, these live casts are going to go out every Friday. We're going to pick 8 o'clock after our last discussions. 8 o'clock fits the most for everybody. Have you used the jaws of life? Yeah. We don't call them the jaws of life anymore. That's a lay public term. But yeah, the jaws of life is a tool that we use pretty regularly. Some just call it a Hearst tool. Some call it a spreader or cutter. But yeah, those are cool. They're limited. There are other tools that you have to use in order to extricate a person from a vehicle. So yeah, the jaws of life are fun to use. More stuff on equipment would be cool. Okay, especially if it's in depth, but not overly long. Okay. So I think you're from Canada who put that one out there. Do you guys use a automatic compression device for CPR? I would like to know that. Here in America, we used them way back when. So when I started back in '93, we had a machine called the Thumper. And the Thumper was a automatic chest compression device, but you had to use an air bottle to use it. You had to hook it to the stretcher, and it was very cumbersome. And what we found is we were delaying CPR so much to try to get this thing on that it became very ineffective. So essentially, we got rid of it. It was much easier to use, 4 and 5 fire department guys or EMS guys to do chest compressions adequately at a good rate, almost pit crew CPR back before it was called pit crew CPR. And we did that for a long time. But Lucas, Justin just talks about Lucas device. Lucas has kind of changed the game for us. There is another one from Zoll. I think the Life Vest is a way to do CPR too. I have not used that personally. I've only seen it at some of the shows. But Lucas is an awesome device. It's easy to put on. It's fast to put on. You can put it on most patients. Some patients are too big for it, so you don't fit them in there. Some patients are too small for it, so you can't put them in there. But if you got that right patient, and that's 60%, 70% of our patients that we have, the Lucas is wonderful. I actually named mine Justin. So one of our trucks has Lucas, the other truck has Justin. And the reason I did that is because if I tell somebody go get a piece of equipment, I say go get Justin, and Justin, in case you need him, he's there, and he doesn't get tired, doesn't get weak. He does perfect chest compressions. Love the Lucas machine. Certain services carry them, but they aren't common in the British Columbia, most because of the costs. Yeah. Do you guys do a lot of grants in Canada? Down in America, we have the opportunity to apply for safer grants and things like that to help us with those kind of cost benefit relations. So automatic stretchers like the strikers that are auto loads, the power stretchers that go up and down, a lot of those things are bought through safer grants or some kind of fundraising to do that. I wonder if in Canada you guys are able to do that. All right, we are slowly changing over to hydraulic cutters and spreaders. Yeah, that's another thing. If you look at some of the videos that we've recently done, many of the fire departments are switching over to the battery-powered cutters. They work really, really well. I was nervous that they weren't going to be as strong, and that is not the case. They are very strong. They're a little heavier, in my opinion, than the actual hydraulic ones. But you don't have to bring out the machine, get it started, have all the gas fumes, all the lines. You can actually put it into service pretty quickly, which is a benefit. Possibly a video about your experience with seeing young firefighters start in the fire service, make mistakes you've seen in general. Okay, that's a good one. So I'm going to write that one down too. That was from Drazen. Nope, no, I lost. Okay. Lucas, your name is Lucas. So Lucas is a machine made by Physio Control, is a chest compression device. I don't know why they named it that. It's just the same name as you. But if I need to do CPR, I can call you too. All right, I'm gonna write this one down. All right. Yeah, Strikers out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. I would love to swing by and see their plant. Maybe we can do that when we get out there. You ever tilled? I have never done a tiller myself. We have one here in the city that is covering ours, but I've never ridden a tiller. We just got our Hearst power tools. We're starting to train on them next week. Justin, all right. I'm not too familiar with the funding side of it. In my province or state, okay. British Columbia is Providence is wide service, so no. Okay. Okay. Taylor, you're talking about the heavier E spreaders versus the hydraulics. Yeah, so, okay, so equipment. Changes over the years. So I did a series early on when we started our YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys ever go back and watch some of our old stuff. I did the top 5 products that changed EMS here in the United States. And it's a great video. I would like to know what you guys think about it. So in my opinion, there are 5 products that changed EMS in the United States. One is going to be the EZIO or the drill. Fantastic thing to have. The other one is going to be CPAP machines for both the ALS and BLS side of it. AEDs is another one. I started when AEDs weren't actually a thing. So AEDs on all BLS police units and things like that is very important. What else did I talk about? Power stretchers is another thing that was major that changed EMS. That really put another 10, 15 years of service on me. I, had some back injuries early on, but I was able to overcome those. But with these power stretchers and the fact that patients in America are getting larger and larger, I mean, I've had some 500, 600. I've even had a 700 pounder that we had to worry about. So having a power stretcher to do that, especially when we have a bariatric truck that comes out, was very important. And finally, having the chest compression device like Lucas again. Those top 5 products were definitely the top 5 things that I thought were changing EMS in America over the last couple of years. So I have an AED on me on all calls. Yeah, AEDs are huge, and they save lives. The thing is, we in America are trying to push to get AEDs in any public place that gathers more than I think it was like 50 people in that place. So having an AED on location in the airports, in the malls, in the churches, those are the ones that are actually going to save lives because early defibrillation makes a big difference. All right, Savage Sniper Hyper. My company just handled a brush fire earlier today in Middle Paxton. Okay, been out there with 38. Yeah, that's awesome brush chop. How did it do for you? What about touring with the Wildland Fire Company? Yeah, I would love. That's Trav Van who asked that question. We were invited to do smoke jumpers out in California, but we're having difficulties raising the finance to travel out there. But we are going to do that. If you know of any here on the East Coast that would do that, we would like to do a day in the life of wildland firefighting. I know most recently we had a incident where we had a large brush fire and the wildland people came out and helped and gave us some advice. That fire actually burned for I think a week back and forth. So they contained it, but they just kind of let it burn down. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you all. Once again, this is Heroes Next Door. We're doing lives every Friday, just kind of talking to different people, giving shout outs, trying to see what's out there, what you guys all like. Don't forget that we do post every Saturday morning at 7:05. We do a Station Rigs, we do Station Cribs, we do a Reacts video. Tomorrow's video is going to be really, really cool. Paramedic coach was able to help with that video. So that's pretty cool. Cedar Mountain in Colorado. I would love to go out there. Denver, Colorado invited us out. We're trying to figure out a schedule and the finance to get there. Denver invited us out. They have a haunted firehouse from what we hear. And I want to go see that. Maybe I'll spend the night in a haunted firehouse. All right. You talked about one of the episodes of how you deal with patients with autism. Yeah, we can do that. I'll get some research on the autism stuff. Okay, Lucas, fire department. Okay. Oh, company in PA. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you know somebody out there, have them get a hold of us. I would love to do that. Trav Van, sorry, I misunderstood what that one was about. Yeah, did you guys see the search and rescue that we did with the dogs? That was pretty cool. That was pretty amazing how fast they found me. I purposely tried to get lost. We walked about 2 miles in the woods with my grandson, and they found us like in 10 minutes. It took me, 45 minutes to get out there. I walked in circles. I sat down different areas. I tried to throw off the scent, and those dogs were amazing. So I would like to see what the wilderness would do too and how they fight fires. All right, Taylor, I was told that the Northern Irish doctor Yeah, I think that's true. I have to look up the history for that, but yeah, the AED goes back a long ways. We actually didn't get the AEDs in America until the early 90s was our first AED. And it didn't become standard of practice until early 2000s, where they said, these things are actually working well, and we need to have them not only on the ambulances for BLS and ALS crews, but we need to have them as police officers, as firefighters, I think most trucks now are required through the NFPA regulations to have an AED on board. So yeah, that's pretty cool history there too. Appreciate that, Taylor. Okay. On bleeding control. Yeah, that's a big topic. We have a Stop the Bleed campaign that goes around here. There's a class that goes out there. Bleeding control is important. Learning tourniquets and what tourniquets to use. I can do a series on that. Thank you for that suggestion. I'm going to write that one down too, because I have a little different opinion on bleeding control. I work in the tactical field and use tourniquets there quite a bit versus the local EMS. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that bleeding control. Okay. Do you know of any stations we're going to in central Pennsylvania this year? I don't know of any right off the bat. I would like to get up and see Penn State's. I know we had initial contact with one of the guys up there. I would like to do Penn State main campus EMS, maybe Altoona's EMS up there. There are a couple over on the side of Pittsburgh area or below Pittsburgh that reached out. There's 2 or 3 out there. We may make that trip happen because that's only 6 hours from us. So we maybe do an overnight. We'll do a long weekend. Pete, yo, right back to you, brother. Thanks for joining in. All right, we have met that hour phase here, so I appreciate you guys. Once again, this is Heroes Next Door on YouTube, doing live. Do us a favor, go to our page if you haven't gone there. Hit subscribe, hit notification, so you can keep getting the updates. We post every day or every Saturday at 7:05. We're doing a lot of things, and the whole purpose of this channel is to highlight you guys. The whole purpose is to really let the American people and the world know that you guys are the heroes next door. So I appreciate you, and keep sending in the invites. Send it to watchheroesnextdoor@gmail, not .@gmail, just watchheroesnextdoor@gmail.com, and we will try to get to you as soon as we possibly can. So once again, I thank you. I'm just going to finish up these last little comments, and I'm going to be signing off. Pete, I appreciate you. I love the station cribs. Yeah, we're doing more of them. Keep viewing them. It would be cool to show smaller rural companies in northern part of PA. Funny compared to the south. Okay, yeah. Travan, we'll try to. Yeah, if you know people up there, have them send us some invites. We'll get up there. Going up to the Poconos or something like that. We definitely can make those trips happen. The easiest way for us to do it is anything within a 2 to 3 hour trip. We'll do that in the daytime. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to sign out, and we'll catch you next Friday. Pass the word, tell your friends. We appreciate you. Oh, last but not least, go to my GoFundMe page. Even $1 helps. If everybody pitches in at $1, it's going to help us. We're going to get that gear to the people that need it the most. So we appreciate it. All right. Take care, guys.